Europe is no stranger to immigration challenges, but recent events have brought these issues into sharp focus. In England and Ireland, violent clashes have erupted, fueled by tensions over immigration. These incidents are not isolated. They reflect a broader struggle across Europe to manage the complex dynamics of immigration. Amidst this backdrop, Hungary stands out for its unique and controversial approach to handling the immigration crisis. Unlike many of its European neighbors, Hungary has adopted stringent measures that have drawn both criticism and admiration. But how did Hungary, a small Central European nation, manage to solve the immigration crisis when so many others have struggled? Hungary's strategic location in Central Europe has made it a crossroads for various peoples throughout history. After World War II, Hungary became a transit route for those fleeing the turmoil of Eastern Europe. The fall of the Iron Curtain in 1989 further opened Hungary's borders, leading to an influx of migrants and refugees. This period marked the beginning of Hungary's complex relationship with immigration, as the country transitioned from being a place people fled from to one they sought refuge in. The 2015 European migrant crisis was a pivotal moment for Hungary. As thousands of asylum seekers, primarily from the Middle East and Africa, sought to enter the European Union, Hungary found itself at the center of the crisis. The government's response was swift and decisive. Border fences were erected and stringent immigration laws were enacted. These actions significantly influenced public opinion, with many Hungarians supporting the government's hardline stance, viewing it as necessary to preserve national security and cultural identity. With this historical context in mind, how has immigration impacted Hungary's economy and society? Let's explore the broader effects. Immigration has had both positive and negative impacts on Hungary's economy. The influx of migrants, particularly during the 2015 refugee crisis, posed significant challenges, especially in terms of public resources. The arrival of large numbers of asylum seekers strained Hungary's infrastructure, leading to substantial government spending on housing, healthcare, and social services. However, immigration has also provided economic benefits. In sectors such as agriculture, construction, and services, where labor shortages have been persistent, migrants have played a crucial role in filling these gaps. This is similar to other European nations like Germany and the UK, where migrant labor significantly contributes to the economy. However, unlike its European counterparts, Hungary has not fully leveraged the potential economic benefits of immigration. The government's restrictive immigration policies and rhetoric have discouraged long-term settlement and integration, limiting the positive economic contributions that could have been realized from a more diverse labor force. In contrast, countries like Germany have integrated immigrants into the labor market more effectively. The social and cultural impacts of immigration in Hungary have been profound and often contentious. The rapid influx of immigrants during the 2015 crisis led to a rise in nationalist sentiment and anti-immigrant rhetoric. The Hungarian government, led by Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, capitalized on these sentiments by framing immigration as a threat to Hungary's national identity and security. This narrative has been reinforced through media and political discourse, often portraying immigrants as cultural outsiders incompatible with Hungarian society. This has contributed to a polarized public opinion, with increasing hostility toward immigrants and refugees. The rise in nationalism has also tightened social cohesion, where the majority population views immigration as disruptive to the cultural and social fabric of the nation. This contrasts sharply with countries like Sweden and Canada, where multiculturalism is more accepted and promoted as a strength. But with such a complex situation, how did Hungary manage to turn the tide on its immigration crisis? Let's look at the strategies that have shocked the world. Hungary's response to the migration crisis focused heavily on border control and security. in 2015 during the peak of the European migrant crisis. Hungary constructed fences along its southern borders with Serbia and Croatia, equipped with barbed wire and surveillance systems, effectively sealing off one of the main routes into the European Union. Additional security forces, including military and police units, were deployed to prevent illegal crossings. These measures dramatically reduced the number of migrants entering Hungary, with illegal crossings dropping by over 99% by 2017. While these actions were effective in controlling migration, they sparked controversy, with critics arguing they violated human rights and international asylum laws. Hungary paired its physical border controls with stringent legal and policy reforms. The government introduced laws that made it nearly impossible for migrants to claim asylum. Asylum seekers were required to submit applications in transit zones along the border, where they were often detained for extended periods. The government also implemented accelerated deportation processes for swiftly removing migrants whose asylum claims were rejected. These reforms were intended to deter migrants from attempting to enter Hungary. However, international organizations, including the European Union and the United Nations, have criticized Hungary for undermining the right to asylum and failing to meet its humanitarian obligations. Hungary's hardline stance on immigration has had significant diplomatic repercussions. Within the European Union, Hungary's policies have strained relations with several member states, particularly those advocating for a more open and humane approach to migration. Despite clashes over issues like refugee relocation and EU asylum standards, Hungary has found support from other Central and Eastern European countries like Poland and Slovakia, which share similar views on immigration. These alliances have allowed Hungary to resist pressure from Brussels and maintain its strict immigration policies. While Hungary's approach has been controversial, it's undeniably effective. But how does this compare with other countries' efforts? Let's take a look. Hungary's strict immigration policies starkly contrast with the more open approaches adopted by many Western European countries, such as Germany and Sweden. Germany, under Chancellor Angela Merkel, took a relatively welcoming stance during the 2015 migrant crisis, accepting over 1 million refugees. This approach emphasized humanitarian responsibility and integration, but it also led to challenges in social cohesion, with rising tensions and the emergence of far-right political movements. Economically, while Germany benefited from an influx of labor, the integration of such a large number of refugees has been a slow and complex process, straining public services. In contrast, Sweden also adopted a generous immigration policy, but faced significant challenges in terms of integration and social harmony. The country experienced a surge in anti-immigrant sentiment, leading to a rise in populist politics. Hungary, by closing its borders and implementing strict asylum laws, avoided many of these integration challenges, but at the cost of international criticism and strained relations within the EU. Hungary's approach is more in line with its Central and Eastern European neighbors, such as Poland and Slovakia. These countries, too, have adopted hardline stances on immigration, driven by concerns over national security, cultural identity, and social stability. Poland, for instance, has been particularly vocal in its opposition to EU-mandated refugee quotas, aligning closely with Hungary in its approach. Slovakia has similarly resisted accepting large numbers of refugees, citing concerns over integration and social cohesion. However, while these countries share Hungary's skepticism towards immigration, they have been less aggressive in their border control measures. Hungary's decision to erect border fences and deploy security forces sets it apart as one of the most stringent enforcers of immigration control in the region. Hungary's strategy is unique, but is it sustainable? What lessons can other countries learn from Hungary's experience? Hungary's immigration policies, while effective in curbing the immediate flow of migrants, raise important questions about long-term sustainability. Economically, the exclusion of migrants may limit Hungary's labor force growth, particularly in sectors that rely on lower-skilled labor, potentially hindering future economic development. Socially, the focus on national identity and the exclusion of cultural diversity could lead to a more insular society, potentially stifling innovation and global integration. Diplomatically, Hungary's approach has already strained relationships within the European Union, risking isolation from key allies and reducing its influence in regional policy discussions. These factors suggest that while Hungary's strict immigration policies have provided short-term control, they may pose significant challenges in the future if not adapted to changing circumstances. Countries facing similar immigration challenges can learn several key lessons from Hungary's approach. There is a clear need to balance security with humanitarian obligations. While border control is essential, overly restrictive policies can lead to human rights concerns and international backlash. Additionally, the integration of migrants should be viewed as an opportunity rather than a threat. Countries that successfully integrate immigrants often see economic and cultural benefits, contributing to long-term social cohesion and prosperity. Finally, Hungary's experience highlights the importance of maintaining diplomatic relations while addressing domestic concerns. Alienating international partners can lead to isolation, which may be detrimental in a globally interconnected world. Hungary's immigration strategy has certainly made waves, but what does it mean for the future of Europe? Let's wrap up with some final thoughts. Hungary's approach to solving the immigration crisis is both unique and controversial. By implementing strict border controls and stringent legal reforms, Hungary has managed to curb the influx of migrants, but not without significant criticism and potential long-term consequences. This strategy has highlighted the delicate balance between national security and humanitarian obligations, a challenge that many countries continue to grapple with. The broader implications for Europe suggest a potential shift towards more restrictive immigration policies, particularly among countries that prioritize sovereignty and cultural identity. However, the sustainability of such an approach remains uncertain, especially in a globalized world where cooperation and integration are increasingly necessary. Could Hungary's approach be a model for other countries, or does it come with risks that are too great? Share your thoughts in the comments below. What should you do next? If you found this discussion insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll explore another pressing global issue that is shaping our world today.